Thank you for taking the time to view the new features of FastTrack Schedule 10. FastTrack Schedule is the world's leading cross-platform project management application. It communicates all aspects of a project schedule easily and intuitively. Project workflow and presentation quality schedules are perfectly balanced. FastTrack Schedule helps create your project schedules in a fraction of the time, ensuring your next presentation or schedule handout stands out. Now, it's not just the great features that we've added to both our Windows and Macintosh versions, but it's how these features improve your workflow, provide you with simple choices, smart features, and allows for your creativity to flow onto your project schedules. So for the next 15 minutes, you'll discover how FastTrack Schedule 10 isn't like any other project management tool out there. FastTrack Schedule 10 puts you in control of your scheduling and will forever transform how project communications, presentations, and proposals are conducted. In creating version 10, we focus our efforts into three areas. The first were feature sets, second, workflow improvements, third, presentation quality. The reason? We had a look and found that other project management programs focused on features and not much attention on how a user goes about performing these functions, their workflow, or presenting their schedules. So encompassing these attributes, FastTrack Schedule 10 provides its users with the option between the ribbon or the classic menu. With FastTrack Schedule 10, we saw a great value in utilizing the ribbon interface. So much so that FastTrack Schedule is the first project management application to encompass the ribbon interface. However, if you haven't transitioned to ribbon or aren't comfortable with making the switch, you don't have to. FastTrack Schedule 10 provides you with that option to go from ribbon to classic. And there you go. Project scheduling and project management is hard enough. So utilize the interface that makes most sense to you and makes your life a little bit easier. So let's have a look at some of the main and great features in FastTrack Schedule 10, keeping in mind that presentation and workflow is always being considered. One of the most important areas in project management is communicating your project schedules. No product out there does a better job than FastTrack Schedule when it comes time to present and communicate your project schedule and goals to your team or clients. And on top of that, why not have fun creating these bars and milestones that help you win your business? In FastTrack Schedule 10, we have our bar styles, the most bar styles available, and an easy way to manage them all. So taking workflow and presentation into account, we can come to this dialog and easily manage a new milestone. So we click New, create a milestone, and instead of using one of our different shapes, we'll actually modify this so it takes into account an important image that we have. So in this case here, it's just a simple web image of a target. Now everyone in my team will know exactly which milestone is the most important one. So once we've selected that bar, this green one here, we simply come down and choose our milestone. Easy and quick. Now how do we work with global calendars? Well, FastTrack Schedule 10, you have now your own work calendars that you can define. Not just one or two, but as many as you need. And we made it all very easy with our workflow because you can edit them all in one work calendar dialog. FastTrack Schedule has multiple calendars to utilize, or you can create your own. And with this dialog, it's very easy to navigate and make changes. So since one of our team is based in Australia and one of the tasks that they're working on will be done in Australia, let's choose the Australian holiday calendar. Now we know that the 26th of January is referred to Australian Day, so that's a holiday. So we create that exception, and that's it. I know now that it's yellow that our base calendar, there's now an exception. Now, any task that I assign this calendar to will take that into account. So if I come here to this task here, which happens to have work on it on the 26th, I double click because I want to get into the bar. So I go to that bar and I click in it, I open it up to our main dialog, and I choose a calendar choice. And notice what happens with the bar. It's extended by a day. Not just that, but because our whole project is running off of a standard calendar, as we can see here with project information, FastTrack Schedule puts an icon to your left that says, hey, this task does not utilize the same project calendar that's used for the project. And your work calendars aren't just being utilized with tasks. You can even use them with your resources. So if we go to our resource view and we open up one of our resources and see what calendar they're working off of, we can see that Miss Susan Jones has a standard project calendar. But I know she's based in Australia, so I just need to come here and change it to Australia holiday calendar. And the 26th is off as a base calendar. But Miss Jones will also take the 27th off because, well, it's party time. So that's all we do. Now, the calendar distinguishes between a base calendar and a resource calendar exception. Now, the most requested feature in FastTrack Schedule 10 is effort driven. And what effort driven allows us to do is change how work is applied to a bar. Meaning that if I double click on this task here and I assign a resource, the bar never moves. However, when I assign a second resource to it, the bar should now compress and be shorter. That's effort-driven scheduling. And you'll notice that you have also a checkbox so you can turn on or off this feature. Now, what about resource management? How has that been improved? Well, in FastTrack Schedule 10, we'll switch to a new schedule. We've done a great job by improving resource management. So take into account this schedule here, where we have a bar that goes across a couple of weeks with the resources already assigned to it. What I want to do is I want to see how these resources are being allocated. So if I take a look at Test Pilot, I can immediately tell that Test Pilot is overallocated. And I know this because the Test Pilot is at 200% for this week. Now in FastTrack Schedule, you've always had the ability to spot allocate. Meaning I can come to any day particular and change the duration of work on a day. So I changed that to 1, and now you see my graphs have changed and my resource is happier on the 16th of March. However, we've improved the workflow here by allowing the ability to redistribute effort across a task. So if I double click on this bar, we can now start utilizing custom contours, flat, backloaded, front, and so forth. And in this case here, because not all resource needs to be assigned in the same manner to the task, I'm going to backload my resource. And notice what happens. It reallocates and redistributes the work on that resource based on the tasks. And there's another feature in FastTrack Schedule 10 that helps us manage our resources. If we come back here to our schedule view, we can see that one of our bars or review task has no one assigned to it. Now, in other project management tools, it's difficult to have to assign a resource blindly. Meaning, if I want to know which of my resources is available, I simply have to just go back and forth to our resource view, see somebody, management or administrator, that has an open week. In FastTrack Schedule 10, we've alleviated that need of going back and forth. All you need to do with FastTrack Schedule 10 now is simply turn on your percent work usage to view all of your resources and how they're allocated. And when you find that gap, you find that space, all you do is you assign them. And there you go. Easy way of managing your resources across your tasks. And I can hear, even though the webcast is muted, I can hear a lot of people oohing and ahhing out there. As well you should. Now some of you might also be asking me, hey, how about people that work with Microsoft Project? How is our life made easier? Well, with FastTrack Schedule 10, we had a great request from one of our larger clients in the federal space who had asked that exact same question. And what we've been able to create in FastTrack Schedule 10 is the ability to automatically save off files like Microsoft Project files in addition to FastTrack Schedule files automatically. And we're the only project management tool out there that supports this feature. So anytime I want to come into FastTrack Schedule and choose a setting, and this setting here will allow me to save all files as XML or MPX or a Mind Manager mind map or an iCalendar file in addition to FastTrack Schedule. Or our second option is the ability to automatically save off a file as one of those 4 formats anytime it comes in. So there's nothing in addition that I have to do. We've automated this process. Workflow definitely improved. There are some people out there that do say that project management is somewhat of a tedious and boring function. Now, that's certainly not us, but when you look at certain products out there, they really don't stress the fun and creative aspect of project management. I mean, if you're not having fun creating your schedules, or you're not having fun presenting them because you don't think your schedules are that impressive or interesting, then chances are those in attendance viewing or reviewing your project schedules are going to feel the exact same way. That's why with FastTrack Schedule 10, we strive to be the best project management tool in the market, while also being the most enjoyable tool you can use to create, maintain, and share your schedules. Now, there's an interesting thing that happens here when you have a feature that's requested not just by one industry, but by various ones. In this case here, we had a feature that we've added to FastTrack Schedule that was requested from the marketing and advertising side, but as well from the construction side. And that's being able to present as much of a project as possible. And in this case here, you'll see that FastTrack Schedule is the only tool out there that allows you to not only have images in your schedule, but also in your columns. So with image columns, I can now take a snapshot, or I can take a digital picture of framing or of a logo of production, and I can embed it into our rows. But this doesn't relate to just the schedule side of things. You can also do it with your resources. So if I come to another schedule, I see that if I simply come to my resource view, I've added a resource image field. And it doesn't only translate to the actual layout, it's also available when I click on the contact information. One thing to keep in mind is if you're going to use images for resources, make sure you take the images before you start allocating them and scheduling, because chances are you'll get the smile at the start of a project more than you would get it at the end or in the middle. So how are you supposed to make your schedule stand out in the crowd? Well, let's go to a different schedule, take a look at our print preview. Now, with FastTrack Schedule, always being able to put any label you want on your bars or any note that is important to you and to your schedule. Of course, we've got our custom milestones, graphs, our images. But once you have them together, go to the print preview and go ahead, add a legend, move it around, or go and put a header and footer. The print preview, think of it as your drawing layer. So now you can take your schedule here and print it out, or you can post it to a PowerPoint slide or to a website so that anytime someone comes in to use and look at your schedules, they can see the nicest and freshest version. So go ahead and get started with FastTrack Schedule 10. You can visit our website at aecsoftware.com to download the Macintosh and Windows demo versions today. And when you launch the application, you'll get this great Getting Started dialog. Take a few minutes, explore it to see all the great video tutorials and documentation that we have on FastTrack Schedule. In addition, we're very proud of the litany of example schedules that are now available in FastTrack Schedule. Over 80 plus templates and example schedules that you can use to get ideas on bar styles, layouts, filters, fast steps, or basically how to put together a schedule. All of these items here to make your life a little easier when it comes to project scheduling.